Just because of how they look, some animals are declared monsters. But have we ever thought that scary animals also have hearts to feel the emotions? This is the Australian most famous wildlife park. It's full of different kinds of beautiful animals, but the most famous one is a young koala called Pretty Boy. Due to his unbeatable cuteness, Pretty Boy is loved by everyone. He even has a mobile application that displays 24/7 live video of Pretty Boy. People use his videos to feel calm and relaxed. Not all animals get such VIP treatment. For example, Jackie, the female crocodile, is always misunderstood whenever she tries to greet the visitors. She's not the only one. Several other scary animals also live in the park, but they are kept locked away due to the threats people associate with them, even though these creatures don't have any intention to harm others. They include a spider called Frank, a thorny lizard called Zoe, and Nigel, a marbled scorpion. Their newest member is a venomous blue snake called Maddie, who hasn't faced the audience yet. The staff enters the room to grab all the animals for the upcoming show. Their caretaker, Chaz Hunt, wakes up Maddie and wishes her good luck for her first show. Maddie always thought that she is considered beautiful, and Chaz's son, Chazzie, introduced them as horrible, disgusting, and the deadliest creatures on the planet. But Chazzie assures the audience that they don't have to get worried because all the creatures here are guarded by the toughest and strongest hero, Chaz. The show starts with the display of Jackie, and then Chaz brings out the reptiles. While showing them to the audience, he keeps saying how deadly each creature is. Next is Maddie's turn. She comes out smiling and shows her fangs in the hope of getting admired. But of course the audience gets scared and one of them even calls her a monster. Maddie is put back in the trunk, but her heart has been shattered into 1,000 pieces. After getting back in her box, she falls into depression and asks her mates why people treated her rudely. She grew up in Chaz's arms, thinking that she was special, but she is considered a monster. She wants to be like Pretty Boy. People line up for hours just to see him. Jackie tries to cheer them up by asking if they remember the Outback. Maddie can't recall much, but she remembers the song her mother used to sing. Maddie sings it for her friends, and her beautiful voice makes others feel better. Afterward, Jackie tells everyone that before coming here, she visited a lot of places, but her favorite one was the mountains in the Outback. It is the place from where they all come from, and Jackie wishes that these reptiles can return to their home one day and meet their families. The following days, the poor creatures follow the same routine of being displayed as monsters and then getting shut in boxes. Then one day, Chazzie accidentally falls in Jackie's pool. She tries to save him from drowning, but people assume that she wants to eat her. Chazzie is pulled out safely, but Jackie is locked in a cage and taken away from the zoo. She didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to her friends. Chazzie is traumatized by the event, but Chaz admires him for being brave enough to survive. He also tells him that all animals are monsters. Even Chazzie's bedtime stories are Chaz's adventures in which he defeated several animals. Meanwhile, Maddie is devastated by Jackie's departure. She can't wait for the same thing to happen to them. Therefore, she convinces her friends to escape the park right now. Zoe unlocks the cages and they get out in the park. After hiding from the security, they finally reach the walls. Freedom is just a step away, but then a weird noise attracts security. It's Pretty Boy playing with a wind chime. Maddie tries to stop him, but refuses in a rude tone. He's not as innocent and sweet as he appears to be. Nigel stings Pretty Boy, and he jumps off the tree, hits the security camera, and falls on the other side of the wall. The reptiles follow him outside and take him along so he doesn't trigger the security again. They reach the seashore, but they have to cross it to reach the city, and after that they can find the Outback Mountains. They grab a bird nest and use it as a boat. When they reach the middle of the sea, a shark starts circling around them. Surprisingly, he is really friendly and offers his help to reach the Outback. The shark is a member of us, which is the ugly secret society. It's a gang of sensitive, misunderstood animals that have a network everywhere. Whenever the reptiles get in trouble, they can get instant help by saying the password. I'm ugly. You're ugly. We should all be this ugly. Ugly is the new beautiful. The shark also gives them a free and comfortable ride to the city. The next morning, Chaz discovers that the animals have escaped, so he decides to call the pest control. But his son asks him to hunt the animals like he has done several times before, and Chaz agrees. Meanwhile, the animals have reached the city. Pretty Boy says goodbye to the reptiles because he believes that humans will take care of them from now on. However, as soon as he steps on the streets, people start moving away from him. Chaz has released an alert. The escaped animals are wanted, and Pretty Boy is declared to have rabies. After noticing the koala in trouble, Maddie goes back to help him. They all try to run away, but the public surrounds them from all sides to catch them. Maddie suddenly remembers about the us and says the password. They get pulled into the sewer by a family of deadly spiders who are also part of the secret society. They use a flush to get out of the sewer and land in the middle of the city. Chaz and his son spot them and rush to catch the reptiles. Pretty Boy notices a video of himself playing on the big screen. He feels proud of himself, but then he reads the headline saying that Pretty Boy has died after getting rabies from a group of deadly animals. Moreover, he is already replaced by another cute animal. This breaks Pretty Boy's heart and he realizes how insensitive the humans are. Maddie feels sorry for him and takes him along with the group. They land on a van and escape. Chaz gives up, but Chazzie tracks the van and wants to continue the adventure. The animals have reached a school and sneak into the science lab. They meet two poisonous frogs, Doug and Doreen. They are locked in cages and begs Maddie to unlock them. Being the kind being she is, Maddie lets them out immediately. In exchange for the favor, Doug tells them about a school bus that is going on a trip to the mountains. They need to follow a girl with a blue ribbon. They accidentally get on the wrong bus at first, but eventually end up on the right bus. As soon as the bus gets out of the city, the atmosphere gets fresh and lively. The animals feel amazing after getting in the wild. Maddie is excited to meet her family, but Nigel is having negative thoughts. What if their family doesn't like them because they are always hated by others? They even know what a family is as they never had one. Maddie explains that a family just means being with people who love you no matter what. The animals feel like they fit the definition of a family, and they hug each other. Their beautiful moment is ruined by Chaz, who is rushing after the bus to catch them. He proceeds to signal the bus to pull over, but Chazzie asks Chaz to jump on the roof of the bus instead as it suits him more. The animals jump inside the bus and the children start screaming. Chaz asks them to calm down and throws a tranquilizer on Pretty Boy. He says that the koala is killed by the reptiles and he throws him out of the bus. Then he asks the kids to help him in finding the reptiles. Luckily, a sweet girl helps the animals get away safely. She even admires Maddie's unique beauty and wishes her good luck. Not all humans are bad. It's just how one looks at the world. As the animals get out of the bus, they fall off a cliff and land on Pretty Boy. Maddie asks Pretty Boy to hurry up on their journey, but he refuses to do so. He is tired of this endless journey because he believes that these ugly reptiles will never get a family. No one is going to love them. Maddie wonders why Pretty Boy is so mean, but life isn't easy for him either. He was observed by the whole world 24/7 and cute looks is all he got. No one cares about his emotions and true self either. Maddie tries to convince Pretty Boy to value freedom, but their conversation is interrupted by Chaz, who catches the reptile. Pretty Boy must save them as they are the only one he has now. He says the US password and a group of Tasmanian devils rush this way. They scare Chaz to death and he climbs back on the cliff. Chazzie keeps insisting on getting after the reptiles again and reminds Chaz of all the deadly missions he completed. But Chaz confesses that he never did those missions. He was a naive boy who was always bullied. One day he saw a wildlife adventurer on TV and decided to behave like him. He even changed his name and voice to fit his new personality. But he regrets lying to his son and decides to complete the current mission for real, even if he dies. Chazzie gets scared and suggests that they should get back home to play video games. But Chaz has made up his mind. He hits a local bar and asks some tough guys to help him in catching the reptiles. They get on their motorbikes and drive along with Chaz. Meanwhile, the animals travel further with the help of the secret society. They disguise themselves as cow dung and bushes to move without getting caught. The night sets in and the animals start missing Jackie's bedtime stories. However, they can at least listen to Maddie's song. Pretty Boy admires her voice and mentions that his mother died in an accident. But Chaz loved him unlike he did to Maddie. But for her, Chaz was the first person she saw after coming out of the egg. She thought he loved him, but for him, Maddie was just another monster for the show. However, the bad times are over. They can finally live in a place where no one will hate them. On the way to the mountains, Pretty Boy finds a family of koalas and rushes to them. He doesn't even say a proper goodbye to the reptiles, and it makes Maddie sad. The journey continues to the mountains anyway. On reaching there, the reptiles find a bunch of others like them who step out to welcome the new members. Frank starts dancing in joy, but the animals start hiding away. Maddie guesses that their families hate them too, but actually they are hiding because of what's coming their way. It's Chaz and his motorcycle army. They capture the reptile group and drive away. They were so close to their destination, but it's all lost now. Chazzie notices the sadness and innocence in Maddie's eyes. He pushes Maddie out of the Jeep, but she also wants her friends back. She turns around to ask the mountain reptiles for help, but they all refuse because of the high risk. These cowards are whom Maddie called family and came all the way here. Pretty Boy appears out of nowhere and scolds the reptiles for being so selfish. He came back because being with the koalas didn't seem like a family. Pretty Boy's family is Maddie and her friends. He is ready to risk everything to bring them back. The next morning, he steals a fire brigade truck and rushes after Chaz. They use the ladder to hang out and get other reptiles on board. Chaz's continuous shooting forces the animals to leave the truck. They get on a motorcycle and change their way, but Chaz still doesn't let them go. He takes out his deadliest gun and starts throwing bombs on the animals. Chazzie tries to stop his father, but he doesn't listen. Finally, the mountain reptiles and the koalas rush there to help. Some of them also throw stones to block the way, but the plan backfires and the animal's truck loses control. Chazzie is also on that truck, so Chaz takes control to save his son. The truck stops at the right moment, but a rolling stone makes the passengers hang on the sides of a ladder. The animals start trying to save Chazzie, but the ladder is slipping down continuously. Maddie tells Chaz that she is not a monster and she grabs on his wrist. The other reptiles use her as a rope to pull up the kid. Chaz regrets his behavior and hugs the animals to thank them. The animals go back to the mountains and thank their families. They also meet the head of secret society, who's no other than Jackie. She has been keeping the eye on her beloved friends with the help of the secret society. They are finally together, not in cages, but in the free atmosphere of the beautiful mountains. Appearance can be deceptive. We shouldn't put a tag on someone without knowing who they actually are and how they feel.